احنا لايف دلوقتي.
اوكي. I think we can start.
نقدر نبدأ دلوقتي.
Okay. Hello, welcome, dear all, in this third web seminar organized by CAVB. First, I would like to present my thanks to Dr. Amr Alwani, President CAVB and First Vice President IFIVB, and to Mrs. Hawaida, also Executive Director of CAVB, for their support to our commission and to all African referees. In this third seminar, the interpretation of the rules will be presented by my friend, Mr. Mohammed Lazreg from Algeria. He is member of CAVB Refereeing Commission and FIVB instructor. Yes. I don't see you on the screen.
Does Mohammed?
Hello. Yes. Okay. No, I continue. Mr. Mohammed Lazreg, he is FIVB instructor and member of the CAVB Refereeing Commission. He has big experience in refereeing. He participates in many world championships in Morocco, Algeria, India, Brazil, Turkey, and he participates also in Women World Olympic qualification in Japan and World League. He has also many nominations in African confederations in many competitions as international referee and also as refereeing delegate. Now we will begin our web seminar concerning the interpretation of the rules, the Casebook. What is the Casebook? The Casebook is a collection of plays with official rulings approved by the refereeing and the rules of the game and refereeing commission, and based upon the most date edition of the rules. These rulings expand on and clarify the spirit and meaning of the official rules and are the official interpretations to be followed during all competitions, national competitions, continental competitions, and FIVB competitions. Several cases appear in this casebook have been illustrated by videos shots, helping the understanding of the situation and making the cases more interesting and attractive. The videos shown in this document are the product of volleyball game actions and extracted from the matches. The cases selected are not designed to be a commentary on the performance of the individual involved any way, but are being used as a teaching tool for the benefit of all volleyball referees. Now I give the floor to my friend Lazreg to begin his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jarad. Dr. Alwani, CAVB President and FIVB Vice President. Mrs. Hawaida Mundi, CAVB Executive Direction. My colleague Enzo, Tariq, Hisham, Jawad Barrada, and Majid. Good evening, everybody. Happy to meet again, and for this I have to thank Dr. Alwani, to CAVB President and FIVB Vice President for the efforts he did and is doing to give us to opportunity to come back on stage and meet again our family, African family volleyball, taking into consideration the period of COVID-19 that we are living. I wish everybody is well and healthy, and you are applying the prevention advice. The subject that I am going to present concern the interpretation of the rules throughout the case concerning the casebook in its version 2020, and in which we hope you pay attention. For this, we have chosen 17 new rules, cases which we'll see together. Hisham. Okay.
Sorry, dear Leslie, just I would to add one word. Please, dear participants, after each 6 presentation by Mr. Lesrek, we will be able to answer all the questions, of course, if we have any. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jarad. Move, Hisham. We have the first cases, the number 131. Hisham. Hisham, move.
Yes, yes.
Okay. The casebooks, okay. Coaches were observed on the, no. The rules. The case, please.
We have one.
Return.
131. Hisham, 131. The rule 131. Case 131, please. Yes, good.
اللي قبل العرضية على طول يا هشام.
Move 1 2. Move, Hisham.
Okay.
Okay. In the Women's World Cup, an extra assistant coach team official was observed serving the ball to specific players inside the court during the warm-up. I'm not finished. In the Women's World Cup, an extra assistant coach team official were observed serving the ball to specific players inside the court. During the warm-up, the technical delegate requests the referees to stop this activity. What can say for this case? We have to know who has to be on the bench and court at the beginning of the official warm-up. Only the 5 members of the staff and players on the score sheet should be on the court, which means other members not mentioned on the zero degrees or on the score sheet cannot take part. The referee has to attract attention to such improper activities. Now for the ruling, correct action by the referee delegate. The rule stipulates that only the 5 officials on the bench may take part in the office warm-up. Generally, the official warm-up means the warming up at the net. Extra person are not on zero base or other team official. Example, team manager have no right to take part neither during the non-official warming up nor during the official warming up at the net. Only the physiotherapist, if not amongst the 5 officials on the bench, may assist with the warm-up, but only until the start of the official net warm-up. The referee should bring these sort of activity of the not office on the game, the technical delegate and the game, the delegate was correct to stop these at his attempt to circumvent the rule, not in some special competition, as example, World Cup, the start of official warm-up, determined by the protocol before the match. Next, Hisham. Okay, the case 113-2, coaches were observed on the opponent side on the court, serving and spiking balls toward members of their own team, should these permitted. Let's say, for this case, where should the coach or assistant coach or other members of the team conduct the official warm-up? That should be done from the team side. The referee should firmly attack attention to this if he noticed that where is an overlaw. The video, Hisham. Okay, we can see one member of the team A in the part of the court of team B, and he serve and attack the ball.
Okay.
Okay, the ruling. For the ruling, move. The ruling, no. No, this is an abuse of the rule, which permits sharing the net during the warm-up. The coach and any assistant players must be politely but firmly instructed to conduct this activity with accompanying material from their own side of the net to avoid conflict with opponents or potential injury. However, it's allowed for the official appearing in the team list to be close to the post in order to avoid that a ball dropping down from the net can create a dangerous situation for the player. Majid, je pense qu'on peut faire les deux cas en français aussi pour permettre aux gens qui sont francophones de suivre.
Ok, si tu veux, il n'y a pas de problème.
Très, très bien.
Mais
Alors,
normalement, mais I think that the presentation is for international referees. So normally must be in the presentation must be in English. But if you want to give this in French, no problem.
OK, thank you. Alors, pour le cas 1-13-1, lors de la Coupe du Monde de volleyball féminine, pendant l'échauffement, un assistant supplémentaire faisait des services sur des joueuses bien précises se trouvant à l'intérieur du terrain. Le délégué technique a demandé aux arbitres de faire cesser cela. Est-ce était correct? De toute façon, pour ce cas...
Lazrak, s'il vous plaît, vous allez doucement, vous lisez doucement, comme ça que les participants peuvent suivre. Hein.
Pardon?
Lisez doucement, lentement.
Très, très bien. Très, très bien. Donc, pour ce cas, nous devons savoir qui doit être sur le banc et sur le terrain au début de l'échauffement officiel. Seuls les 5 membres du staff et les joueurs portés sur la feuille de match doivent être sur le terrain. Ce qui signifie que d'autres membres non mentionnés sur la feuille de match ne peuvent participer. Donc, l'arbitre doit attirer l'attention de ces activités inappropriées. Maintenant, pour la décision, c'est une action correcte. La règle stipule que seuls les 5 officiels sur le banc peuvent prendre part à l'échauffement officiel. En général, l'échauffement officiel veut dire l'échauffement au filet. Des personnes supplémentaires et se trouvant pas sur la 02 bis ou d'autres officiels, par exemple le manager de l'équipe, n'ont pas le droit de prendre part ni pendant l'échauffement officiel, ni pendant l'échauffement officiel au filet. Seul le kiné, s'il n'est pas parmi les 5 officiels sur le banc, peut assister à l'échauffement, mais seulement jusqu'au début de l'échauffement officiel au filet. Les arbitres doivent attirer l'attention du délégué technique au jeu sur ce genre de cas. Le délégué technique au jeu a eu raison de faire arrêter cela vu que c'était une tentative de contourner les règles, note dans certaines compétitions spéciales comme exemple la Coupe du Monde, le début de l'échauffement officiel est déterminé par un protocole avant le match. Pour le cas 1-13-2, donc des coachs se trouvaient dans le terrain de l'adversaire et servaient ou effectuaient des attaques en direction des membres de leur propre équipe. Est-ce que cela est permis? Ce qu'on peut dire, c'est que pour ce cas, jouer le ballon au filet est l'une des actions. Voilà. On peut dire que pour ce cas, donc, le coach et l'assistant coach ou d'autres membres de l'équipe devraient conduire l'échauffement officiel. Cela devrait être fait du côté de l'équipe, pas de l'équipe, du côté de l'adversaire. L'arbitre doit attirer l'attention sur ce point s'il constate qu'il y a une infraction du règlement. Maintenant, pour la décision, le principe est que c'est une violation qui permet de partager le filet pendant l'échauffement. Les coachs et tout autre joueur qui les assistent doivent être informés poliment, mais fermement, d'avoir cette activité avec le matériel qui en fait partie, depuis leur propre côté du filet, afin d'éviter tout conflit avec l'adversaire et les blessures éventuelles. Cependant, il est permis aux officiels se trouvant sur la liste d'équipe de se trouver à proximité du poteau pour éviter qu'une balle tombant du filet puisse causer une situation dangereuse pour les joueuses. Voilà pour la partie en français. Donc, now we continue, Hicham. Next. Case 116. Several team members during the general warm-up wore garment over the official uniform or instead on their uniform. It was noticed that because no number was visible, the prevented proper confirmation that the player on court matched in ID cards presented. Should this be permitted? For this case, one of the main things the referee should be aware of during a technical meeting preceding the competition is the warm-up and the protocol. There could be sometimes special or exceptional requests from the host during the technical meeting, for example, to prolong the interval between the second and the third set, for example, to make a show, etc. The ruling, the principle is that all players should be in uniform from the moment they enter the court to warm up. In some top events, the current protocol before the match is conducted by a specialist presentation team. In this case, the regulation may be different. The referee should be well informed about these items. Pour le point 1.16, donc pendant l'échauffement général, plusieurs membres d'une équipe portaient des vêtements au-dessus de leur tenue officielle ou à la place de leur tenue officielle du fait que leur numéro n'était pas visible. Cela empêchait la confirmation correcte que les joueurs sur le terrain correspondaient aux cartes d'identité présentées. Est-ce que cela doit être permis? Une des choses principales dont l'arbitre doit être conscient lors d'une réunion technique précédant la compétition est l'échauffement et le protocole. Il peut y avoir parfois des demandes spéciales ou exceptionnelles de l'organisateur lors de la réunion technique pour, par exemple, prolonger l'intervalle entre les sets, entre le deuxième et le troisième, pour, soi-disant, organiser des shows et ainsi de suite. Pour ce qui est de la décision, donc le principe est que tous les joueurs doivent être en tenue officielle à partir du moment où ils entrent sur le terrain. Pour l'échauffement, dans certains événements au sommet, le protocole actuel est dirigé par une équipe spécialiste de la présentation. Dans ces cas-là, la réglementation peut être différée. Les arbitres doivent être informés à ce sujet. Michel, the next. The case 3, 11-1. after a bad reception of Team B. The ball was flying outside the crossing space toward the opponent free zone. A player from this team started to run in order to replay the ball. He stepped under the net without touching the opponent's court and the net, but due to an opponent player still within his own court also moving towards the ball, he was not able to replay the ball. Has the player of Team B been intervened by the Team A player? For this case, it is clear that any player has the right to move and play in his own court. It is a crucial point to decide that a player interfered and an opponent from retrieving a ball coming from a ball reception. You have to pay attention that the player is doing it in purpose or banning to opponents from playing the ball properly. The ruling, the video, please. Okay. Bad reception. Okay. The player run to play.
Video finish.
Yes, ruling. For the ruling, for the decision, each player has the right to stand and move freely in his own court and playing space. There are some limitations to play in opponent's court or playing space or in the free zone. Therefore, to decide about the eventual interference, it is a crucial point. If the player of Team A was within his own court or in the free zone, if he moved within his own court, his play was legal. On the other hand, it was in the free zone and his movement can be considered as an interference. He is committed a fault. Alors, pour le cas en français, après une mauvaise réception de l'équipe B, le ballon est passé en dehors de l'espace de passage, en direction de la zone libre de l'adversaire. Un joueur de cette équipe a démarré afin de rejouer le ballon. Il est passé au-dessous du filet sans le toucher, ni toucher le terrain d'adverse, ni le filet. Mais à cause d'un adversaire qui se trouvait toujours dans son propre terrain et qui se dirigeait aussi en direction du ballon, il n'a pas pu jouer celui-ci correctement. Est-ce que le joueur de l'équipe A a interféré dans l'action du joueur de l'équipe B? Donc, à ce niveau, il est clair que tout joueur a le droit de se déplacer et de jouer sur son propre terrain. C'est un point crucial pour décider qu'un joueur a empêché un adversaire de récupérer une balle provenant d'une mauvaise réception. Vous devez faire attention que le joueur le fasse dans le but d'interdire à l'adversaire de jouer correctement le ballon. Et dans cette action, ce n'est pas le cas. Donc, pour la décision, tout joueur a le droit de se trouver et de se déplacer librement dans son propre terrain et espace de jeu. Il y a des limitations à jouer dans le terrain ou dans l'espace de jeu adverse et dans la zone libre. C'est pourquoi décider d'une interférence est un point crucial si le joueur de l'équipe A était à l'intérieur de son terrain ou dans la zone libre. S'il s'est déplacé dans son propre terrain, son action était légale. D'un autre côté, s'il se trouvait dans la zone libre et que son mouvement peut être considéré comme une interférence, il a commis une faute. The next.
I think, dear Lazarek, we finish
The next.
the six
Yes.
rules. Lazarek, we finished the 6 rules. I have now 2 questions.
Yes, okay, no problem.
Okay.
I think with
I have the questions.
side to.
Sorry, about rule 116.
No, we have now three cases or 4 cases. We can.
Okay, sorry. Okay, no problem. Continue.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, the next, Hisham. 3-11. Okay. This case, the ball rebounded from the blocker of team A, hit the net and the sidebound of team B side. Then landed on the court. The first referee decided the action as a successful block, and the next serving team is team A. Was it a correct decision? For this case, playing the ball at the net is one of the very critical actions where the referee should be attention. Where is the ball out of play in terms of touching the antenna of the sideband? Now we see the video. It's very important for this video. The player attacks the ball. The ball is returned by the block, touch the sideband, and land on the court. Decision. Next, rule. Hisham?
Yes, that's the rule.
Move. Okay. Now, if the ball hits only the sideband, the action is legal. But if the ball hits the antenna as well, it is already a fault. In practice, if the hit into the sideband antenna change the natural rebound direction of the ball, it is clear indication that it has hit something solid, like the antenna. Although in reality, it has not contacted in the antenna because the sideband prevented the physical contact. Because the ball from the block touched the sideband and the antenna, no matter on blocker side or attacker side. It became out before it landed. In other words, the next service belonged to team B and not A. Pour le cas 3-11-2, donc il est dit que le ballon a répondu du contre de l'équipe A, a touché le filet et la bande latérale du côté de l'équipe B. Puis il a attiré sur le terrain. Le premier arbitre décida que l'action était un contre effectif, victorieux, et que la prochaine équipe au service était l'équipe A. Est-ce une bonne décision? Pour ce cas, jouer le ballon au filet est l'une des actions très critiques auxquelles l'arbitre doit prêter attention. Quand la balle est-elle hors du jeu en termes de toucher les antennes et les bandes verticales. Donc, pour la décision, si le ballon touche seulement la bande latérale, l'action est légale. Ça veut dire que l'arbitre est correct dans sa décision. Mais si le ballon touche également l'antenne, c'est déjà une faute. Dans la pratique, si le fait de toucher la bande latérale et l'antenne modifie le rebond, la direction naturelle du ballon, c'est une indication claire qu'il a touché quelque chose de solide, comme l'antenne, bien qu'il n'ait en réalité pas touché l'antenne. Vu que la bande latérale a évité un contact physique, vu que le ballon qui venait du contre a touché la bande latérale et l'antenne, peu importe le côté du contre ou de l'attaque. Il était out avant de toucher le sol. Donc, le service suivant revient à l'équipe B au lieu de l'équipe A. The next, Hisham. Hisham, the next.
Okay, 326-2.
326-2. In this case, is it allowed for a player to penetrate into the opponent space under the net when although there is not physical contact with the opponent's player, the opponent is shocked by it? It is allowed to penetrate in the opponent's court, provided that there is not interfere with the opponent. Video. No. Okay. We see the player with his arm.
Okay, next.
Rolling. Rolling, Hisham.
Yes, rolling.
Is allowed provided that the opponent's player is not interfere with preventing him playing the ball. Interference may occur even if there is not physical contact between the player. The first referee was the right to stop the game due to the fault of the penetrating player and, if necessary, to warn sanction the player. Pour le 4.26, donc il est dit que est-il permis pour un joueur de pénétrer dans l'espace adverse en dessous du filet lorsque cela choque l'adversaire, bien qu'il n'y ait aucun contact physique avec le joueur adverse? Est-il autorisé à pénétrer dans le terrain adverse à condition qu'il n'y ait aucune interférence, avec l'adversaire? Pour la décision, c'est permis à condition que le joueur adverse ne soit pas gêné en étant empêché de jouer le ballon. Une interférence peut se produire même s'il n'y a pas de contact physique entre les joueurs. Le premier arbitre a le droit d'arrêter le jeu suite à une faute du joueur qui pénètre et, si nécessaire, l'avertir ou le sanctionner. Okay, Majid, I think we can open the floor for the questions.
Okay, now I have only one question about Rule 116. Is it accept one player to have two numbers difference, one on the short and another one on the short and another on the shirt, but same color of uniform?
No, the rules say the player must have the same shirt and short, except the libero. They have another shirt contrast color with his colleagues.
No, sorry. Okay, but he asked about numbers. Can the player have a number on the shirt and another number on the short?
No, it's not possible. It's not possible. The same number is in the front and in the shirt and the short. The same number, and we have the longer of the number 15 in front, 20 in the doors, and for the short 6 centimeters.
Thank you.
Another questions?
No, I have only one questions. Only one.
We continue?
Thank you. Yes, we can continue, please.
Okay. Hisham.
Okay. 326-3.
Yes, 26-3. After a weak service reception of Team B, the ball went into net close to the net side to the sideband, a player of the team A in position 2 did a clear sideway movement toward the ball, hit it with height elevated forearms through the net. The opponent player was not able to play the ball due to the different rebounding from the net. The first referee whistled net fault by the player of team A. Was it a correct decision? For this case, net fault is clear, explained by the rules. Player participant in the action in the front zone and close to the net, touching any part of the net between the antenna is fault. Video. Can you see after the reception, the ball go directly to the net and the player in position 2 touch the ball intentionally. In this case, it's a fault. The ruling.
Did you not finish?
Yes.
Okay. Ruling.
Yes, it was correct decision. It wouldn't be a fault if the ball hits the player through the net in a situation where the player standing close to the net is in a passive neutral position without any movement toward the ball or protect his face, body against a strongly spiked ball. But if the player moves toward the ball, chasing it and deliberately hits it and changing the direction and the speed of the rebounding ball, it is not allowed, it is a fault. And the referee has right to whistle this as a fault. Donc, le cas 3-26-3, après une réception du service médiocre de l'équipe B, le ballon a rebondi dans le filet à proximité de la bande latérale. Un joueur de l'équipe A en position 2 fit clairement un mouvement de côté en direction du ballon, le touche à travers le filet avec ses avant-bras, levé bien haut. Le joueur adverse ne fut pas capable de jouer le ballon venant du filet à cause du rebond modifié. Le premier arbitre siffla une faute du filet contre le joueur de l'équipe A. Est-ce une bonne décision? Est-ce une bonne décision? Donc la faute au filet s'explique clairement par les règles. Le joueur participant à l'action dans la zone avant et à proximité du filet touche le filet entre les antennes est une faute. Donc pour la décision, oui, c'est une faute. C'était une décision correcte. Ce ne serait pas une faute si le ballon touche le joueur à travers le filet dans une situation où le joueur qui se trouve près du filet est dans une position passive, neutre, sans faire de mouvement vers le ballon ou se protège le visage, corps d'un ballon attaqué en force. Mais si le joueur se déplace vers le ballon en le chassant et le touchant de façon délibérée et change la direction ou la vitesse ou le rebond du ballon, ce n'est pas permis, donc c'est une faute. The next Hichem.
Okay.
The case 349. A player of team A attacked the ball, which was blocked by the blocker of team. After the block hit, the block crossed the lower space in other time under the net and landed on the court of the team B, which team won the rally. What is a block? In this case, we can know the definition of the block. The definition of the block help a lot understand the numerous chance of playing the ball. That's why one of the main things we should care as for us referring is learning the definition. Video, Hisham.
Spójrzmy, czy to wpadło w boisko.
Okay.
A popatrzmy, z tej kamery będzie. Co ciekawe, ja nie wiem, czy warszawski zespół twierdzi, że piłka szła po stronie z gry. No nie, no chyba tutaj ten obrazek wyjaśnia, że ta piłka szła po stronie Warszawy i wpadła po ich stronie boiska.
Okay, finish.
Ruling. Hisham.
Ruling.
It should be considered as a perfect block. The rally has been won by the team B, the team who was in the block. Donc pour le cas 3-49, un joueur de l'équipe A a attaqué le ballon qui a été bloqué par le contre de l'équipe B. Après la touche du contre, le ballon traversa l'espace en dessus du filet et toucha le sol du terrain de l'équipe B. Quelle équipe a gagné l'échange? Donc, pour ce cas, qu'est-ce que c'est un bloc? Donc, il faut revenir à la définition du bloc. La définition du bloc aide beaucoup à comprendre les nombreuses scènes de jeu. C'est pourquoi l'une des principales choses que nous devons prendre en charge en tant qu'arbitre est d'apprendre les définitions. Pour la décision, ceci doit être considéré comme un contre correct. L'échange a été gagné par l'équipe B. The next.
Okay.
Okay, the case 350. An attacker spiked the ball out, but the blocker body tie hit the ball. The hit was provided by the video challenge footage. The first referee decided touched ball, and the next service to attacking team was this decision is correct. For this case, the good referee is the one who applies the philosophy of refereeing whistle to fault when he happens and don't search the fault. When any part of the player's body touches the ball and the ball goes out is considered a touch ball. But in this case, we are going to see is different and we will see why. The video, please. Here the attack by the team A and the player of team B block the ball. The ball touched the higher of the blocker and now the body. The higher is considered as a touch or no? We can see the ruling. Okay, Hisham.
Okay, ruling.
For the ruling, the net touch by higher is not considered as a fault unless this net touch has influence on the game. In keeping consistency with this approach, the touch by blocker higher is not counted as a touch. The rally would have to be won by the defending team. The same as touch the net with the higher. If no interfere with the play of the opponents, it's not fault. Here, it's same case, touch the ball during the block with higher, it's not touch. And the rally would have to be won by the defending team. Pour le cas 3 secondes, donc une attaquante a attaqué le ballon out, mais les cheveux attachés en queue de cheval de la contreuse ont touché le ballon. Le contact a été prouvé par l'image vidéo du challenge. Le premier arbitre décida alors, ballon touché et service à suivre pour l'équipe attaquante. Est-ce que c'est une bonne décision? Ce n'est pas une bonne décision. Le contact du filet avec les cheveux n'est pas considéré comme une faute, sauf si le contact avec le filet a une influence sur le jeu de l'adversaire. Pour rester cohérent avec cette approche, le contact avec les cheveux de la bloqueuse n'est pas considéré comme une touche. Et puis le service doit être gagné par l'équipe qui a défendu, qui a bloqué. The next issue.
Okay.
Okay, the case 351. The ball rebounded high from the opponent's block on the team A, then returned to the opponent's space. There, a player close to the net, reaching over the top of the net, hit the ball, which rebounded from the top net, top bend, and the same player hit it again. It is a legal play. We previously talked about the critical and sensitive action at the net. Among these actions, the block and attack. The referee should pay attention not only on ball, but also on the body of the players, whether it's above the net or lower than the top band, and decide whether it is block or attack. Video, please. Okay, we see here, okay, the block return the ball. Here, we see the player in the middle, position 2, touch the ball. Above of the top of the net, above the net. Okay, up. The ruling.
Okay, ruling.
Yes, the first referee made a good decision for allowing the rally to continue. If a player close to the net and reaching over the top of the net hits the ball coming from the opponent, the action might be either block or attack hit. During the judgment, the position of the player's hands or other part of body should be counted, but the height of the ball is irrelevant. The player hit is considered as a block if the player stretches reaching over the net to intercept the ball with one or two hands with a classical spiker backswing movement, reference case 345. Based on the above interpretation, the situation illustrated by the video should be considered as a blocking and legal action. Pour ce qui est de ce cas 351, donc la balle rebondit très haut après le contre de l'équipe A et retourne ensuite en direction de l'espace adverse. Là, une joueuse proche du filet, avec une partie du corps au-dessus de la bande supérieure du filet, touche le ballon rebondit sur la bande supérieure du filet et la même joueuse le toucha à nouveau. Est-ce que c'est une action légale? Nous avons déjà parler des actions critiques et sensibles sur le filet. Parmi ces actions, le bloc et l'attaque. L'arbitre doit faire attention non seulement au ballon, mais aussi au corps des joueuses, qu'ils soient au-dessus du filet ou en dessous de la bande supérieure, et décider s'il s'agit d'un bloc ou d'une attaque. Donc, pour ce qui est de la décision, le premier arbitre a pris une bonne décision en faisant l'échange en laissant l'échange continuer. Si un joueur proche du filet et avec une partie du corps au-dessus de la bande supérieure du filet touche le ballon provenant de l'adversaire, l'action peut être ou un contre ou une frappe d'attaque. Pour le jugement, la position de la main du joueur ou d'une autre partie de son corps doit être prise en compte, mais la hauteur du ballon n'a pas d'influence. La hauteur du ballon n'a pas d'influence. La touche par le joueur est considérée comme un contre si le joueur saute plus haut que le bord supérieur du filet pour intercepter le ballon avec une ou deux mains, sans effectuer un mouvement classique de ce match, prise d'élan, référence du 454. En se basant sur l'interprétation ci-dessus, la situation illustrée sur la vidéo doit être considérée comme une action de contre légale et le jeu continue le plus normalement du monde. The next.
Okay.
Case 352. A ball was plucked straight down before the ball landed on the opponent's floor. The ball touched the leg of the middle blocker who was already standing on the floor without the intention of kicking the ball. If there was no leg hit, the ball would have landed clearly on the floor on Team B side. Can the middle blocker's leg touch be considered as an interference to the opponent play? Intentional and unintentional, we have to distinguish between both because in the following action, we are going to see the difference. Video. Okay, attack and after the block. After the block. Before landing the floor, the ball touches the leg of the player. No, it's not an interference because the middle blocker's leg touch was intentionally and already stood on the floor. He made no mistakes. However, if the contact was well above the floor and there was an opponent player with a potential play on the ball, then this is interference. But in this case, it's not interference. Okay. The next, and open after the floor for the questions. The next, move.
Okay.
The case 343. A back row sitter facing towards his own end line jumped close to the net when the attacked ball from the opponent's hit his head. Can this action be considered as an illegal block? The player is close to the net. Above the top, there are three conditions that should be considered to decide it is a block or no. The first one, the player is close to the net. The second, the ball is coming from the opponent. The third, the player has some part of his body projecting above the top of the net. Video. Okay. The player, okay, he jumped. And after the attack, the ball touches hit. It's very interesting case.
Okay, ruling.
For the ruling, to consider that action is a block, three conditions should be fulfilled simultaneously. The player is close to the net, the ball is coming from the opponent, the player has some part of his body projecting above the top of the net. It is not relevant which direction the player is facing. If the referee judged that the three conditions has been fulfilled, the action was a block. Nous revenons en français pour le 3-2 et le 3-3. Donc, un ballon a été bloqué directement vers le sol avant que la balle touche le terrain adverse. Le ballon heurta la jambe du contreur central qui était déjà au sol sans intention de jouer le ballon du pied s'il n'y avait pas eu le contact avec la jambe. Le ballon aurait clairement touché le terrain du côté de l'équipe B. Est-ce que le contact avec la jambe du contreur central peut être considéré comme une interférence dans le jeu de l'adversaire? Intentionnel et non intentionnel, nous devons distinguer donc les deux cas. Dans l'action que nous avons vue, il y a une différence. Pour la décision, donc non, il n'y a pas d'interférence, vu que le contact avec la jambe du contreur central n'était pas intentionnel et que se trouvait déjà sur le sol. Il n'a pas commis de faute, cependant, si le contact avait bien eu lieu au-dessus du sol et qu'un adversaire avait la possibilité de jouer le ballon, alors là, il y aurait pu avoir interférence. Et ce n'est pas le cas. Pour le cas 3-3, un passeur arrière tourné face à sa ligne de fond sauta à proximité du filet et le ballon attaqué par un adversaire toucha la tête. Est-ce que cette action peut être considérée comme un contre illégal? Là, pour tout d'abord, pour décider qu'il y ait un contre, il faut réunir trois conditions. Donc, il faut que le joueur soit très proche du filet, le ballon vient de l'adversaire et le joueur a une partie de son corps au-dessus du filet. Donc, c'est la règle qui le stipule. Pour ce qui est donc de la décision de 3-3, pour considérer qu'une action est un contre, il faut réunir trois conditions. Et il faut qu'elle soit remplie en même temps. Le joueur est proche du filet, le ballon provient de l'adversaire, le joueur a une partie du corps au-dessus du bord supérieur du filet. La direction dans laquelle le joueur est tourné n'a aucune importance. Si l'arbitre estime que les trois conditions ont été remplies, l'action est un contre. Là, si les trois conditions sont réunies. Voilà, donc on continue pour... on ouvre le... Donc, we open the floor for the question. Mr. Majid.
Okay, I have the question from Mushira, Egypt. A
Yes.
player who crossed the opposing team's court without touching his feet on the ground. Is it a mistake? And if he collides with one of the competing players, is it a mistake?
You can repeat, I not understand your...
A player who crossed the opposing team's court without touching his feet on the ground. Is it a mistake? And if he collides with one of the competing players?
I don't understand what can... you can answer this, Gerard.
The player crossed the opposing team court, but his feet doesn't touch the opposite court. But he collides, if he collides, is not a fault. But if he collides with one of the competing team players, if he intervened with the play and prevent the competing player to continue the play, it is a fault.
Yes, I think we say in the rules the player can move in his own court or the court of opposing out to the court of the opponent. But if now it's correct with the opponent player, in this case we take attention the position of the ball. If the ball crowds outside the antenna, this player can play the ball and return the ball in his team. The opponent player interfere with him, it's a fault for the opponent team.
I repeat, if the player crossed the opposing team's court and his feet doesn't touch the ground, is not a fault. But if he collides with one of the competing players and he prevents the opponent player to play, his action is interfering with the play. The second question. This is a remark from David Pereira, Mr. Hisham. The quality of the sound is very poor. Is there anything you can do to ameliorate, please?
I think he need to check the network, because we don't have any problem in our network.
Okay. Also, we don't have here any problem. Another question from Martin Milandi. He asked for the hand signal for interference. What is the hand signal for interference?
The hand signal or interference is ball out and show the player to interfere.
Okay. The video shown on point 350 showed a ball touching the pony tail of the blocker, but the ruling says net touch by hair and not ball touching the hair. What is the proper ruling if the ball touches the player pony tail as it goes out of the attack?
Okay, for the block, for the video, I think it's clear the ball touched the hair of the players. And if we see the rules of the net, the rule said touch the net by the hair, it's not fault, it's clear. But if the ball touch the body of the player and go out, you can hand signal to touch the ball and give the series for the team who attack the ball.
Okay. In the case 353, can we consider that as a block attempt by the back row setter, or it is considered as a block?
323.
Yes. Repeat the 343. Go to the point. Go to the case 353, please.
Repeat the questions.
In the case 323.
26-3.
No, 353.
26-3.
353. A back row setter facing towards his own end line jumper, close to the net when the attacked ball from the opponent hit his head. Can this action be considered as a block? To consider that an action, here you explain the three conditions. The three conditions should be full simultaneously for a block. The player is close to the net, the ball is coming from the opponent, and the player has some part of his body projecting above the top of the net. It is not relevant which direction the player is facing. If the referee judges that the three conditions have been fulfilled, the action was a block.
Yes.
That is the ruling of the point 353. So the attempt block by the back row player setter is considered in this case as a block. Okay,
No?
let's see if we have another questions.
Yes?
Sorry.
Gerard, the questions?
Okay, finish.
Okay.
Please, dear friend, if we continue in this way to continue the presentation in English and in French, maybe we don't have enough time. So I propose, for my proposal, we finish the presentation in English, and after, if we have some referees who wants to have the translation in French, if we have time, we did the translation for them.
Good. Okay.
Because we don't have the risk that we cannot continue the presentation. We have still, I think, 10 or 12 presentation to continue. Up to you now. Please continue.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you for understanding.
Yes. Okay. The case 442. During the game, due to one inattentive ball retriever, a second ball rolls into the court. The situation was not realized by either the first referee or the second referee. After the rally finished, the first referee decided to replay due to external interference. Was it correct decision? Okay, for this case, when there is an external interference, the rally should stop for many reasons. One of the main reasons of the security of the player who are the main actors of the game. Video, please. Okay. Okay, during the play. Okay. After this action, the second ball was on the court. The ruling. Okay, for this case, the main principle of the security of the players, therefore, if the referees realize that a second ball is in the court or is about to roll into the court, they should interrupt the rally. If the second ball was sent into the court intentionally by a team member, the philosophy should be the same, but this action must be considered as an aggressive action, lending the disqualification of the team member. Next. For the case 8-6, after a weak service reception by team A, the ball went into the opponent side over the antenna. A player ran to play it. When he hit the ball, it was already over the scorer table on the opponent side. His action is legal. The player can play the ball obviously in his side, but also in all the free zone, included his teammates, bench, and even the scorer table, but not on the opponent pitch. bench, on the opponent bench. The video, please. Here we can see, okay, the bad reception, the player go to play the ball over the scorer. Okay. The ruling, yes. By the new interpretation, the ball can be replayed from above the scorer table on the opponent side. However, this action is not allowed further outside of the free zone, for example, over the opponent's bench. Next, Hisham. Okay, now the case 9-13. 9-13, a dig by team A, the ball went high around the antenna and it was supposed to land close to the sideline. It was difficult to determine if the part was within the crossing space or over the antenna. A player from team A was running under the net to replay the ball. Meanwhile, a player from team B was also ready to play close to the sideline. However, the two players almost collided with each other. The player of team B played the ball successfully and the rally continued. How should it be determined if fault has been committed, and in this case, which player was at fault? The ball clearly passed the net line within the antenna. Interference is the ball clearly passed the net line over or outside the antenna. In other words, partly or totally outside of the crossing space. Team A had the right to replay it. In this case of the team B, players interfered with opponent's plays. Thus, both actions should be well understood and distinguished by the referee in order to decide what has right to play the ball and who is interfering. Video. This case is very interesting, and I ask to pay attention for this. Okay. Here, the collision between two players and the player of team B play successful the ball. In this case, the ruling, we have three options. The crucial point is the trajectory of the ball. After a dig by team A, the ball went high around the antenna. The crucial point is the trajectory of the ball. After a dig by team A, the ball went high around the antenna and was supposed to land close to the sideline. It was difficult to determine if the part was within the crossing space or over the antenna. A player from team E was running under the net to replay the ball. Meanwhile, a player from team B was also ready to play close to the sideline. However, the two players almost collided with each other. The player of team B played the ball successfully and the rally continued. How should it be determined it a fault had been committed, and in this case, which player was at the fault. Option 1, the ball clearly passed the net, playing within the antenna. In other words, through the crossing space, Team A had no right to replay it. It's why the running play of Team A interfered with opponent's play and made a fault regardless in the opponent's successful hit the ball. Next. Hisham, next.
Okay.
Option 2, if the ball clearly passed the net flying over or outside the antenna, in other words, partly off, totally outside of the crossing space, Team A had the right to replay it. In this case, the Team B players interfered with the opponent's play or made a fault regardless of whether the opponent successfully hit the ball. Next, option 3, if the ball trajectory was in doubt, and here is very interesting. If the ball trajectory was in doubt and neither referee nor line judge could determine these, both player may legally think that their action to try to play the ball is legal. It is impossible to when two player hitting the ball is not interfered, is playing the ball, it is worth not stopping the rally. However, it is in action to play is rally influenced by the opponent in play. The ball, the rally should stop it and replay. For this case, we have 3 options. If the ball crosses between the antenna, the Team B can replay the ball. If the ball crosses outside the antenna, the Team A can replay the ball. But if we have the doubt, ball out or in, we can say out or team, we have a doubt. In this situation, it's very important to the referee to stop this action and replay the game. The next. The case 9-14. After a play digs the ball, rebounded height, and flown behind the end line. The libero ran to replay it. Although he hit the ball, but due to a crane camera, which had penetrated into the playing space, he was not successful neither. The ball nor the player hit the crane. The coach approached the cameraman and vehemently protested the case, but the first referee decision the rally was won by the opponent's team and the coach was warned with a yellow card. Was the situation handled well? What is an external interference? The external interference could be made either by person or object. The case we are going to see explain it well. Video. Okay, the player, the libero, ran to play the ball and after touch the ball, the ball touched the crown of the camera.
ruling.
Yes. For the ruling for this case, regarding the technical aspect, the first referee had a wrong approach. Within the playing area, the players have the propriety to play. If an outside object or a person penetrating from outside the playing area, example, the crane, TV camera, or a journalist reaching in to catch the ball, interfere here or here, play, it should be considered as interference means not only a physical contact. On the video, the libero was not able to play the ball successfully due to the near crane camera. Therefore, this should be considered as an external interference. And the role was to be replayed regarding the misconduct by the coach. It was correct decision by the first referee. In this case, the first referee has a wrong approach, but for the sanction, it was a legal decision for the sanction. The next and the last, I think, yes, the last cases 9, 15. The ball rebounded from the blocker of team A, hit the attacker hand, went to the side band and on team B side. And landed on the court. The first referee decided the action as a successful ball. His hand signal was ball in, and the next serving team was team A. The team B requested the video challenge for antenna touch. The video provided that the ball clearly hit the sideband and the antenna. Unfortunately, the player who hit last the ball was not shown, and the first referee confirmed his original decision. The coach of team B vehemently protested and at the second referee. A warning second stage yellow card was used for him. Was it a correct decision, and was the situation handled well? For this situation, the next, handling many decisions at a time makes from the referee very smart and clever. To decide of playing action fault and the same team keep an eyes at the bad behavior and the sanction that should be given and when exactly. Take your time does not also mean putting everyone in doubt, including spectator. The art of refereeing should occur here. Video. Also, this case is very important and interesting. We can see after the block, the ball return and touch the attacker and touch the side band. Okay, until here and landed on the court. The team B asked for video challenge. The coach here is very angry. I hear for misconduct, the referee give a yellow card for the coach of Team B. Okay, he not stopped, the coach, he not stopped. Okay, for the ruling. No, even though the decision for the next service was correct, but the base of decision was misinterpretation and the discipline of coach were wrong handled. If the ball hits only the sideband, the action is legal. But if the ball hits the antenna as well, it is already a fault. In practice, if the hit into the sideband antenna change the natural rebound direction of the ball, it is clear indication that it has hit something solid, like the antenna. Although in reality, it has not contacted the antenna because the sideband prevented the physical contact. Because the ball from the attacker touched the sideband and the antenna, it became out immediately before it landed. In other words, hand signal should be out and indicated the player of team B. Next. Regarding the misconduct by the coach, these behaviors exceeded the normal human reaction. The challenge regulation stipulates that the team should accept the result of the video check and the referee decision. The behavior should be considered as a rude conduct and should be penalized by a red card and no yellow card. The referee should not allow the coaches to do shall be continuing their protest. In certain cases, as on the video, referee must be striker when applying discipline rules. Thank you. I think next, Hisham.
Finish.
Finish. Thank you very much for your attention, and we wait your questions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, dear friend, dear Lazarek, for your interesting presentation concerning the casebook. For me, I would like to inform you that I had the pleasure to be appointed by FAVB to translate the refereeing instructions and this casebook in French. And I think it will be very useful for all referees who from Europe and who speaks French. Okay, I have another question concerning the point 442 was not answered clearly. Neoni, he said that he was not answered clearly for him. I repeat, the point 442 during the game, due to an inattentive ball retriever, a second ball rolls onto the court. The situation was not realized by either the first referee or the second referee. After the rally finished, the first referee decided to replay due to external interference. Was it a correct decision? The main principle is the security of the players. Therefore, if the referees realize that a second ball is on the court or is about to roll onto the court, they should interrupt the rally. If the second ball was sent onto the court intentionally by a team member, the philosophy should be the same. But this action must be considered as an aggressive action leading to the disqualification of the team member. Is it clear for you, Nyoni? But the problem here, in some national matches, the sum of ball retrievers of some of team members, they roll the ball on the court intentionally. And for me, even when we give disqualification for the team member or the ball retrievers is insufficient. Why? Because some of them, at the last point of the set or of the match, they do this intentionally to interrupt the game. So I think that giving a disqualification is not sufficient. We must think about this, because we cannot finish if we give red card means that we give a point to the opponent, and if it is the last point, we don't want to finish the set or the match by red card, by penalty. Another question. Here they said that we have skipped case 354. Please discuss it because it is also a new case. I will check the case of 354.
344 is not in the presentation, Majid.
Please, if you have this, please repeat it, because they said that we have skipped case 354. Please discuss it because it is also a new case. If you have it, please repeat. No problem.
We don't have this case in this presentation.
If not, I have, Mr. Lazarek. If not, I have in front of me this case. Don't worry. Just
What?
check. The case 354.
The case 54 is not in the presentation.
Yes, that's what they say. Mr.
Oh,
Nyoni,
I don't know. We haven't the casebook with me.
Okay, no problem. Don't worry. I will speak about it. The player of Team B sent the ball slightly to the opponent. The player of Team A, close to the net, reaching over the top of the net, hit the ball, which rebounded from the top band, and the same player hits it again. Had the first referee a good decision, allowing the rally to continue. I repeat, it's clear, but I repeat. A player of Team B sent the ball slightly to the opponent. A player of Team A, close to the net, reaching over the top of the net, hit the ball, which rebounded from the top band, and the same player hit it again. Had the first referee a good decision, allowing the rally to continue. Now, the situation is similar, but still different to the case 351. That you explain, Mr. Lazarek, you explained the case 351. I think you have this in the presentation. The judgment. If a player close to the net and reaching over the top of the net hits the ball coming from the opponent, the action might be either block or attack hit. During the judgment, the position of the player's hands or other parts of body should be counted, but the height of the ball is irrelevant. The most important thing to take in consideration here is if you have any part of the body over the top of the net.
the player's hit considered as an attack. Firstly, if the player uses the classical phrase movement of the arm as on video shown, I have it the video here, then hits the ball, directing it towards the opponent. Therefore, if the player for this first hit executes an attack spell, then hits again the ball, rebounding from the net, he commits a double fault. Based on the above interpretation, the situation illustrated by the two videos should be considered as double fault. For the action, the rally should be immediately stopped and won by team B. This is the ruling. Do you have I am reading the question. Please, Lazarek, you have the case 914.
914.
914 in the presentation.
Yes, the last one.
Yes, please repeat it.
Okay. For the 914 case, the Hisham, you can.
Yes. 914.
914. The last one. 14. No, 14. No. Okay. After a player dig the ball, rebounded, hit and flown behind the end line. The libero ran to replay it, or thought he hit the ball, but due to a crane camera, which had penetrated into the playing space, his hit was not successful. Neither the ball nor the player hit the crane. The coach approached the cameraman and vehemently protested the case. By the first referee decision, the rally was won by the opponent's team, and the coach was warned with a yellow card. Was the situation handled well? For the ruling for this case, because the player he play he not can to play the ball because the ball touched the crown of the camera. We have the video here. We can see this action. The libero ran, but he cannot play. The ball touched the crown of the camera. In this situation, and regarding the rules, regarding the technical aspect, the first referee had a wrong approach. Why? Because he not stopped the rally. Within the playing area, the player have to priority to play if our outside object or a person penetrating from outside the playing area. For example, the crane TV camera or the journalist reaching into the catch the ball interfere his play. It should be considered as an external interference, and the rally should be replayed. The interference means not only a physical contact. On the video, the libero was not able to play the ball successfully due to the near crane camera. Therefore, this should be considered as an external interference, and the rally was to be replayed. Regarding the miscount by the coach, it was correct decision by the first referee. It's clear. The first decision, it wrong by the referee because he not stopped the ball during the play. The libero cannot play successful the ball, and the ball touched the crown of the TV camera. But for the sanction, it was correct by the first referee. Majid?
Yes. I have the last question from Dexter Chizikala. My name is Dexter from Zambia. My question is, during play, when the opponent served the ball, it was seen that the receiving team had bad reception, resulting to the ball bouncing where the opponent's coach was, and that brought up interference to the team trying to retrieve the ball. What is the ruling of this? Thank you. I repeat the question if you want.
Okay, repeat, Majid.
During play, when the opponent served the ball, it was seen that the receiving team had bad reception, resulting to the ball bouncing where the opponent's coach was, and that brought up interference to the team trying to retrieve the ball. What is the ruling on this? Thank you.
In this situation, it's very clear. If the coach interfere or he not, he interfere with the player to run to play the ball, it's in interference, and the play is stopped, and the coaches he can receive a sanction for these interference.
No, I think here not necessary to give him a sanction because he thinks that the coach thinks that the opponent cannot replay the ball because it was very bad reception. We can consider that the ball, when the coach touch the ball, is ball. We consider this ball as out. We give the service to the opponent team without any sanction, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Please, dear participants, do you have any other questions? We are waiting. Okay, I have another from Mr. Kozi. Case 442. Both referees didn't see the ball interfering the court until the rally was finished. Why did the first referee replay the rally? Seemingly, if the rally continued and finished, it means it never interfered with any play.
Can I replay?
The case, you have the case 442.
442. During the game. I think for this case, during the play, the second ball enter the court. Yes. For this, the main principle of the security of the players, therefore, in the referee realizes that the second ball is on the court or is above the roll into the court. They should interrupt the rally if the second ball was sent into the court intentionally by a team member. The philosophy should be the same, but this action must be considered as an aggressive action and leading to the disqualification of the member of the team member. It's clear because the second ball can be to injure with player, and I think as referee we must have a security for the player in the court.
No, the question here is why the referee decide to replay the rally when the rally is finished. The rally is finished.
The rally is not finished. The second ball, it was in the court before the ball landed the ground. We can see the video. We can see the video. Hisham.
Yes,
Hisham?
video. Yes.
Okay. The video. We can see the video.
I think here we have two situations. If the rally is not finished and the ball is in play.
If the rally is not finished and we have the second ball in the court, the referee must be stopped the rally.
Good, yes.
But if
correct.
the ball if the rally is finished and the ball enter on the court, no problem. The referee must keep his decision of in the ball in or out, or any decision for the situation.
But here, what is the sanction when intentionally the team member or the ball retrievers put the ball on the court, roll the ball on the court?
For the decision for this action is the
in the rule is considered as an aggression.
Yes,
and
the rule consider is aggressive action. It aggressive action to put the ball during the play, and for the team member, it's very important for the referee to disqualify him. Now for the ball retrievers, we can say him to go out and replace him by another retriever's ball.
Okay, if our dear participants, they have no more questions, I think.
I have a question, please.
Sorry, yes.
I have a question, Mr. Gerard.
Hello, Mr. Kamdoun.
Yes, hello, friend. Yes, my question is to Mr. Gerard.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Gerard, you said we don't need to finish a set or a match by a red card if the situation needs to be sanctioned. No. Can we go take the low decision or the upper decision?
Look, till now, we give advice for all international referees not to finish the set.
The set of the match.
The set or the match by red card.
Yes.
But till now, we are discussing this point to find the solution for this. Okay. You know, because it is very bad for the spectators and for our sport to finish this with red card. All the spectators on the TV and the sports hall, they are waiting how to finish the match.
The match, yes, the suspense.
And imagine the first referee shows red card, and sometimes the spectators, they don't understand why this red card is shown and the match is finished. But till now, my friend, we are discussing in our commission this situation. Please, if any participant or any international referee or any referees have an idea or a proposal for this situation, don't hesitate to send this to the commission.
Okay, thank you.
You have a proposal, Charles?
I will check. I will think so about something and propose it to the commission.
Very serious. It is really very serious question, and we are still discussing this in our commission. Thank you for your question.
Okay, President. Thank you.
Please, do you have any other question? So, if no question, thank you again, Mr. Lazreg, for this interesting interesting presentation. Thank you, my dear friends, my dear members of Commission, Shal Kamdoum, my brother, Jawad Barrada, and all the attendants. Thank you for Mr. Hisham, who is always present to assist us in this web seminar. Thank you to Enzo. Thank you for everybody. Thank you. Here I received some things from Mushira Ibrahim. From Mushira Ibrahim to all the commission. From my friend Nasser Sha'ban. Thank you so much, my dear friends. From Tonya Levis. Thank you, Mr. Lazarek, for your presentation. Mushira Ibrahim also. Kidrago Ipo. I want to know if the hair of the player are part of the body. I think we ask clearly this question. The hair is not considered as a part of the body, and if the player touch, if the player touch the net by her hair, is not a fault. Okay. Thank you for presentation. Good. God bless you. Thank you very much from Alphonse. Thank you very much also from Raj. From Raj. Thank you for Mr. Mohamed and Gerard from Marti Eki. Thank you. So I think we can, Mr. Hisham, I think we can close this web seminar. See you in the next seminar, Saturday. It will be, the presentation will be done by Mr. Sandy Steele, member of the Rules of the Game and Refereeing Commission from FIVB, and the presentation he will prepare the FIVB Referee Resource Center. It will be very interesting web seminar to help the referee to have access to this center, to have the teaching materials. Thank you very much again. Hello, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
Hisham.
Hisham.
Bye, Hisham. Okay.